Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make a floating menu in PowerApps to give it effect like your Android phone or your iPhone, where you drag it up and it slowly rises up, slowly rises down. You can't do it exactly like that in PowerApp, but it's pretty close. All right. I created a PowerApp that's already set up for you, but I'm going to walk you through all the steps on how to create this. So in the beginning, I'm going to show you what our end goal is, and then I'll walk you through it step by step. So if you play this app, it looks normal. You got your waffle button up here. When you click the waffle button, it will bring in your menu of your icons that you want. And then when you're done, you click the waffle again and it collapses it. Okay. So this is what we're going to create. Now there's different things you can do with this. Like when you click one of these buttons, you can have it close the bar. By default, it's going to stay open until you hit this other waffle button. But you can take that same command that closes this and put it on each one of these buttons. So when you click the button, it'll do its action and then it'll close the menu automatically. But we're not going to do that. But I'll show you where the command is for that. So let's go ahead and stop playing. So when you start out, the first thing you got to do is you're going to go under the screen, and then you're going to go into the OnVisible property, and you're going to put this command right here. Now, don't worry about writing all these commands down. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to put it in the description so you have it. You don't have to take notes that way. And when you see the word UpdateContext, that is a variable within that screen. Okay. Once you leave the screen, it will not work again. Okay. We're setting context variable varWaffle to true to start with. Now, this will become evident why we're doing this later, but this is just a variable. It's a Boolean variable. It's either true or false. Okay. We use the varWaffle to open and shut the panel. Okay, so that's step one. Step two is you're going to go onto your screen. Under your screen, you see I got a lot of different things here. Okay. First thing you're going to do is you're going to put your waffle together here. Okay, so let's make this a little bigger so you can see it a little easier. All right. So you're going to go, click where you want it. You're going to insert, and then you're going to type waffle up in the menu here. And then you're going to select waffle menu. Okay. What I did here is I used two of them. Okay, one's white, one's black. Now what you do is we're using a black one to create a 3D looking waffle. Since it's not, we can layer stuff here. The first one you create is the black one. Okay. Go up to the color, set it as black, and then for your dimensions, you come over here to properties, and you can set your size right here. I got it set to 51, but you can set it to whatever you want. If you want bigger ones, smaller ones, just remember these are all in pixels. Okay. And then I created my second one, the exact same size, and then I just slid it over on top and then just moved it up just a little bit to create a 3D looking waffle. Okay. Now, there's some properties you got to set with the waffle. You're only going to do it on the white one. The black one's just there for the effect. Okay. Now, for your OnSelect, first thing you're going to do is you're going to set it's OnSelect should be come up as soon as you click on the waffle. You're going to put this command right here. And what this does is update context varTimer. Okay. We're going to talk about the timer here in a second. The varTimer is set to false. And then we close it out. And then we do another update context varWaffle. It's going to say take the varWaffle variable and whatever it is, switch it to the other state. So if it's true, make it false. If it's false, make it true. And then we're going to set the varTimer to true, because when you're selecting this, you want the panel to come out. So the timer is how we do that. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a timer. So you're going to go up to insert. You're going to just type timer. Okay. And boom, it brings your timer in. All right. You just move it off to the side somewhere, wherever you want it. Because we're eventually going to hide this. You're not going to see this once we set it up. All right. Now, the easiest way to do is on the right side. You got all these properties here, right? If you go to advanced, first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the timer duration. Okay. So you're going to come down here and look for duration, which is right here. We're going to set, now remember, the duration is in milliseconds. So if you want it for 1 second, it's going to be 1,000. If it's going for 10 seconds, it's going to be 10,000, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to set this 1,000. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go OnTimerEnd, okay, which is right here. As you can see, that it's got no value in there. It just says false, which basically means it doesn't do anything. We're going to set a if statement in here. Okay, so we go if varWaffle, comma. Now, anytime you see an if statement and it just says the variable and then a comma, it's saying if it's true. Okay, because the first thing you're going to, as you see right there, provides a result when the condition is true. Okay. Now, if it's not a true false, you have to actually put equals, greater than, less than, whatever, right? It says if varWaffle, if that's true, you're gonna reset the name of the timer. So this one's called timer 1. And if it's false, we're just gonna put false. Just like it was when it first started, right? All right. And powerapp is okay with it. So you're done. Now on the start property, which is right here, we're going to set it to varTimer. Remember, we talked about the varTimer before, right? You know, this is when we're going to use it. So basically, when you click on this button, it's going to tell the timer to start counting. And then when it ends, it's going to reset the timer. And then once varWaffle is turned to false, it'll just leave it as false. So it won't reset all the time. Okay. Now at this point, you can go over here to visible, and you can hide it. So it's set to true for right now, which means it shows all the time. So if you set it to false, it will keep it hidden all the time, no matter what the powerapp's doing, and boom, it's gone. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the actual panel and the icons in the panel. All right. So just so I can show you this, I'm going to activate the time. I'm going to activate it to bring it in, and then I'm going to stop playing. Reset it. Okay. So this is going to be a little unorthodox because I already have it built. So it's in the inactive region of the form, so I can't just click on it. As you can see, nothing happens when I do anything. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna create a rectangle. Okay, and I called it panel, and that's this right here. Now, when you set this up initially, you know what? I'll just create another one. So we go insert rectangle. And it's going to put it on the form, and then what you do is you set it up, draw it generally how you want it. All right. I want this thing to be 115 pixels wide. So I'm gonna come over here. As you can see, the size is 142 by 764. So it's actually supposed to be 768. So it's the full height of the form. And I set this to 115. And it shrinks it down. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the fill color. Okay. The fill color could be whatever you want. Okay. You come in here, go to fill. See, right now it's dark blue. Okay. You can use regular words, or you can use the RGBA format, which is red. The first color is red, second color is green, the third one's blue, and A is tribulation, I think. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's It's how translucent it is, right? If you put it to 1, it's solid. If you put it to 0, it's invisible. So you can make it 0.3, 0.5, 0.8. It's how bright you want the color to be. So let's say we want to make it orange. You just type orange and it'll change it to orange. Now, there's no just orange. So we'll just go color.orange. Boom, it makes it orange. Okay. I figure why it's not at the top. That's why. The Y coordinate was set to 4. All right. So, but I like blue. So we'll go blue. That's bright, but it's okay. All right. Next thing we're going to do is set the height. Now, I like the panel when it's inactive, like over here. You see how it looks like it's like gray, the background? That's because the actual panel is right here. It's 0. You just can't see it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it the same way. So we're going to click on here. We're going to go down to height, wherever it is, right here. Right now it's set to the max height, right? But we're going to put a formula in there. So it's going to be similar to the other formulas we have. So we're going to set it to, let's find my formula. If varWaffle is true, set it to 0. If it's false, goes 0 plus 768 times parentheses WaffleTimer.Value divided by WaffleTimer.Duration. Yeah, I know Power Apps is super, super case sensitive. Okay. So basically what it's going to do is if WaffleTimer is true, it's going to set it to 0. If WaffleTimer is false, it's going to take 0 plus 768 times the WaffleTimer.Value divided by WaffleTimer.Duration. So as the timer's counting up, it's going to make it bigger, height-wise. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this back in my clipboard because it's kind of hard to set up the panel if nothing's there, right? So we're going to set it back to 768. And now we're going to add our icons in here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my waffle in my background. Okay, so I'm going to go insert. And then we're going to go waffle menu. Okay, we're going to place it approximately where it needs to go. Okay. And I want my waffles to be 40. Okay, so you go 40, 40. Now, when you change 1 to 40, it's going to shrink. But you see the box, it looks funny. So once I do that, it recenters it. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to copy and paste because I want this one to be above it, right? I want the same everything except the color. So we come over to color here and we're going to change it to white. Okay. And then I'm going to move it back on top and then I'm going to go up slightly. Come on. So it gives that 3D effect, right? Now I'm going to add some other icons in here. So I'm going to grab this, copy, paste, 3. I'm going to do 4 icons. Okay. So I'm going to drag it down here, drag this down here, put this down here, drag this down here. Now, all you have to do to change these to your icons is come over here, click on the first one. We're going to make that my home button. Okay. You go down here to home and select it. Boom, comes your home button. And then the next one, we'll make a back button. And then here, we'll make this one our add button. And this one here, we'll make our sync button. Okay. All right, we got our buttons in there. Now, in order to make this work right, our icons need to move in unison with our panel. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the panel. Actually, let's do the buttons first. We're going to control click all the stuff that's going to be the same. Okay. And our two waffles, right? We are now going to go down to the X property. Now the X and Y property, just how far you're left and right, how far you're up and down. If you put a static value in there, it'll stay the same no matter what. But since we're going to put a formula in there, it's going to work off the formula to tell us the actual value of X and Y. Okay. Y, we're not going to put a value in because we want Y to stay the same north and south. But we're moving east and west on a timer, so it has to be in a formula. Okay. So what we're going to do is in our formula, we're going to put if varWaffle is true, we're going to go negative 95. If it's false, it's going to be negative 95 plus 115, which is the width of our rectangle, right? Times waffle timer dot wow, I can't spell, divided by waffle timer dot duration, close. Okay. As you can see, it moved off the screen, right? But I didn't set the height. That's why it doesn't look gray. Okay. For some reason, though, the icons moved over too far. Okay. So not sure why it did that. Wonder if I change these back to 115. Still looks like it's too far, doesn't it? All right. So now I'm going to go back into my height and set. Okay, I got to put the one. I guess it came out with Flipboard. It's essentially going to be the same thing, except it's going to be a little, just the numbers are going to be different. So if varWaffle, comma, 0, comma, 0 plus 768 times WaffleTimer.Value, WaffleTimer.Duration. Now, as you can see, now it's grayed out because the actual rectangle is at the very top. It's basically invisible. So it gives the appearance of being inactive, right? So now if I did everything right, it should work. So we'll go run. No, we forgot something. We gotta do our buttons, right? Our OnSelect. Oh, we did those already. That's right. It's just this one I'm worried about. I don't think I did. So now there's a lot of things that can make this not work. But you click the waffle, it opens it up and brings it down. Okay. Now, because I did something wrong here, and that's why it's doing this. But as you can see, it did open up. I really wish I could bring that up. So let's go back into my rectangle here. I'm going to take this out. Put it 768. But as you see, it does work. So you just got to be careful on what you set everything to, and you just got to play around with it. Sometimes my numbers may be different than yours. So if it isn't opening right, or if it's not spacing them out right, you may have some other issues going on. So like down here on mine, on my buttons here, see my X, I got it set to 95 and 115. Okay. Yours may be different depending on how wide you make your panel. Okay. So you just got to play around with it. As like I told you earlier, why is going to be a hard value? Because you need to set this vertical height, whatever you want. You don't want these buttons moving around. Okay. Um, Now your OnSelect will be whatever function these things serve. Like, say you want it to go back to your home screen, or you want to go to another screen, you're going to put navigate up there, right? Or if you want to perform, you're going to navigate to that screen, so on and so forth. Each one of these is like that. Okay, so your OnSelect. Right now, my OnSelects don't do anything. They're literally all this. They're just thrown on icons. But when you do it, you can set it the same. Okay. So I'm going to show you an example of another app that I did that my son uses. Okay. I have a dev environment. I let him use stuff on here. So open up another app so you can see another example how I did this. And remember earlier I told you I was going to show you how when you click one of the buttons, you make the menu close automatically. Okay. And that's this one right here. Just give it a second, let it come up. Like I said, my network connection is really slow right now. So we're just patiently waiting. All right. So this is his little driving log. Now, because we're in edit mode, you can see the inactive portion of the form. So let's play it. All right. So as you can see, it's got the waffle up top. So we click the waffle. It comes in. I have 3 icons. Now, if you hover over the icons, you can see what function it serves, right? So like if I want to add a new thing, when I click the plus button, it'll go to the form, but you notice the menu collapses. Okay. And if I want to use something else, like I want to go back to my home screen, refresh, or go to his driving log, like this, boom, disappears and goes to his driving log. Now there's no menu here, but I do have home buttons on here to take me back if I need to. Now with this is actually a separate screen. So only way I can close this if I cancel it or save submission. So I'm gonna close it. So I can come back here and it does the same thing. Now I can navigate anywhere into this app with this navigation bar. And that's how it works. If you have any questions or comments, just put it in the comments below. And if you have questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And like and subscribe.